French President Emmanuel Macron has come under scrutiny from his diplomatic peers and the public after making remarks in an interview with Les Echos and Politico about Europe's need for strategic autonomy, as well avoiding being drawn into any conflict between the United States and China over Taiwan. In the interview, Macron declared that it would be a trap for Europe to get caught up in crises that are not ours, and if a conflict between the American and Chinese duopoly occurred, Europe would not have the time or means to finance its own independence and risk becoming a follower. Macron further expressed his thoughts on Europe's strategic autonomy being accepted by all and the speed at which Europe has responded in creating plans to boost homegrown green tech and the production of critical raw materials. In his talk with Chinese President Xi Jinping, Macron also touched on the dangers of China's complacency with Russia as well as on the U.S. Inflation Reduction Act, IRA. Reactions to Macron's statements were varied, with U.S. Republican Senator Marco Rubio implying that if Macron did speak for all of Europe, then the U.S. should consider focusing on containing China, leaving the war in Ukraine to be handled by Europe. Similarly, the Wall Street Journal editorial team believed Macron's unhelpful comments would only weaken U.S. and Japanese deterrence of China and encourage U.S. politicians who want reduced commitments in Europe. For Germany, center-right MP Norbert Röttgen called Macron's trip to China a PR coup for Xi and a foreign policy disaster for Europe, while the head of the European Parliament's China delegation, Reinhard Bütikofer, described the visit as a complete disaster. However, there were still those that defended the French president's words and actions, with former French ambassador Gérard Ayrault believing the remarks had started an important conversation and that it would be wrong to consolidate into a Western bloc under American direction. Similarly, Mujtaba Rahman of Eurasia Group suggested Macron's interview was being seen as his parting gift to Xi, but may have just been him thinking ahead in an interesting way but not measuring the immediate political impact of his words. In light of the situation, one thing's for sure, and that's that Europe's role in the global order is making waves, and the thoughts on strategic autonomy will continue to be discussed for some time. However, how these debates unfold and the eventual outcome will remain to be seen. In the meantime, all eyes will be on Emmanuel Macron, for better or for worse, as his statements and behaviors on foreign policy will likely continue to come under much public scrutiny.